What's up, people? We is back. We is back. Another day on Keep It G News. Let me get right. The one thing, I'll tell y'all something about blogging or reporting or whatever you want to call it, right? Yo, it's a number of ways you can go about delivering news. You can go with the status quo. You can go against the status quo. You can get the people a fabricated. What I want to say, man. What you would call it? A fabricated series of events, or you can keep it real. Now, I try to keep it real as possible. Like I'm not going to get on my platform and tell everybody like the whole industry is coming down, because I don't believe that's what's going to happen. And we've been covering the Diddy case since it's been going on in this whole situation. But what it is, and a lot of people was seeming to think like, yo, we ready to hear everything. They ready to come down. Jay-Z might be implicated. This person might be implicated. And I'm like, yo, that's not going to happen. So people like, yo, how you know? What you mean? This person said this and this person said that. And I'm like, yo, I seriously doubt if we hear anybody name of relevance in this whole Diddy case, even if it come out in trial. So there's an attorney. I think she's an attorney, or she do like investigative journalism. And a woman name is Megan Kniff. And salute to my man that sent me this. Megan Kniff says prosecutors and lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs have agreed on a protective order regarding case discovery that specifies sealed material will not be posted online, including any social media sites such as Facebook or Twitter. And that goes into what I was saying. This is still preliminary stages, but I think I can make a pretty good assumption that they're gonna carry like this the whole trial. Because what I was telling people, and I'm gonna read this document. Because what I was telling people is, this whole thing is personal. And one thing about when you got personal beef or personal vendetta against somebody, you don't really want to implicate other people. And I said that, if this thing was all about Diddy, like really about Diddy and his antics or his the way he moved in the industry, then we would hear about other people. But this ain't about that. We didn't talk about that on numerous occasions. This is a vendetta. This was a business relationship that turned personal. So all we're going to hear is, hold on, let me put my phone on do not disturb. All we're going to hear is what Diddy was involved in. Nobody else. And another thing, about these freak offs that I think people is getting confusing. Charlene, what it is, baby. I think a lot of people is getting the freak offs confused with the parties. The freak offs, I don't think everybody was privy to the freak offs. I think that was just something Diddy was involved in. Now the parties where he did things like this and he had dancers and a lot of people probably was there. It might have been, some things going on at the parties. But these freak offs was different. These freak offs was between Diddy and whatever female he was dealing with at the time. I don't think a whole lot of entertainers was involved. Yeah, you can donate. Cash at Baltimore Swag. BALTIMORESWAG. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people was privy to the freak offs based on the indictment. You know, since it only lists one victim. Thanks, Charlene. Cash at right there, boss, bro. Don't just be playing, yo, because I block you for playing. Let's see. Now look at this. Oh, that's not it. It was apparent. I wanted to show this yesterday. Sean Diddy Combs' white party shocked attendees. I saw naked women. I was 6.
Me, because for 4 years I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z.
Now we're going to talk about her.
And they don't want you to know this. But that's why you've never seen Jimi Hendrix and Missy Elliott in the same room. Busta Rhymes gave birth to Sierra's baby. And yes, I said that right. I just want to know where Oprah was on 9/11.
So you understand? Like, all of this sounds good. You know, it make people tune in. Yo, but for the most part, y'all, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, I'd rather stick to the facts. Did y'all see this conversation?
Piers Morgan show.
No, not this one.
Actually,
hold on.
Piers Morgan.
Now this is Jaguar Wright. I'm gonna get to her a little later in the video, so stick around. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we ready to rock and roll. Ain't nobody else keeping it this real. Now, like I said, the parties. These are Diddy parties.
First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed.
But the freak offs are different.
Say pause.
The freak offs are different.
Kevin Hart, like many, distancing himself.
I think it's a lot of that ball out. I'm gonna get to her.
And federal indictment.
Do you think he's safe in jail?
The reason Kevin is getting questioned is because of this newly rediscovered footage of him hosting a Diddy hotel party back in 2010.
I'm not jumping the time myself. Once everybody leaves out, just make it make sense.
That is
that fucking hair caught on fire.
Hair catching on fire in the hot tub. None of the celeb guests at this party have been accused of any wrongdoing.
That's my brother right here from day one.
Now that's a Diddy party. Diddy freak offs are different. Diddy freak offs are different, y'all. Now I don't think people really understand that. What is this?
Oh, we get down to the judges and the justices.
This is a video I'm looking for. And I'm gonna read the document, y'all. Just give me a minute. Then we're gonna get the Jaguar Wright. You know, we're trying to make it make sense. It was a video I was looking for where Diddy was hosting a party, and he was talking about the kids gotta go in. Now it's time for the kids to leave. And I think people was getting that confused with the freak offs. Have y'all ever seen Diddy getting arrested? Oh no, that's that. Look, they putting in ads. Attention. Have you or a loved one ever worked for, met, or had any interaction with Sean Diddy Combs? Look at this, y'all. How can something like this, y'all, even be taken serious? Like, it's crazy people really taking that serious. Fucking insane. It is insane that people is taking that serious. And like I said, yo, I could choose, to play like everybody else and tell everybody all these stories. Like, yo, I'm telling you, they're coming down on the whole industry. Just wait. Just watch. Who do y'all think is going to be? That'll make a real good video. You understand? People be tuned in. Yo, but I'd be lying. If I was to take that angle, I would be fucking lying. Because one thing I know is, however Hollywood move, it's some people that don't want to see that end. That's way bigger than Diddy. So why would they drop the ball on everybody? I don't think that's likely. I don't think that's likely. I don't think that's what they want. And I don't think we're going to see that. Because I don't even think that's what this is about. Hold on. I bet he do. You see what I'm saying? I bet he do. A lot of these people do things like that, you know? A lot of these people do things like that. Look, here go Diddy explaining the parties.
A killer party. What's the ingredient? What do you do to make just an amazing killer party? Because mine, I put out the cheese whiz. I put on the Paul Anka. No one comes. Wrong move.
See, you're doing the wrong things.
Wrong
boy.
thing. Okay.
This is what you need to do. Women, beautiful women, of course.
Beautiful women.
Beautiful men for the ladies, of course.
Wouldn't it be better if there weren't beautiful men there? There were just a lot of beautiful women and then just the guy?
No. You have to make. There's enough ladies to go around to make the ladies, give the ladies what they need too. You know, you have to take care of your women.
Take care of the ladies. Okay,
Ladies,
gotcha. That's
Yeah.
good.
Can't force the situation.
Right. What about?
Can't force a square peg into a round hole.
That's the story of my life.
Okay, you need
I
that.
wish you had told me that a long time ago.
Well, I'm here now, brother. It's not too late.
What about like celebrities? You have a lot of celebrities. A killer party. What's the ingredient? What is your?
First, you have to listen.
Man, straight up, man, what it is.
Let's just take things slow, okay? Okay. It's all right. He's learning. He's learning.
And I'm
The cash
slow.
app at the bottom,
Very
bro. Baltimore swag at the bottom.
slow.
Check it out. Check this out.
Charlene
Man, we
posted
go
it.
way back, but he hasn't told y'all that. We'll talk about that later.
Hey, y'all stick around. We ready to rock out.
Check this
When
out.
was that, by the way? We'll get to that later. All right.
Okay. Now, we need alcohols.
Right.
Alcohols.
Right. Not just one alcohol.
Alcohols.
Right. Just different
Plurals.
blends. You need the
Blends.
ladies. You need the booze.
You need some water.
For watering plants?
No, I don't know if guys have noticed this. Like, a lot of ladies drink water at parties. They
Right.
just, so you have
Motherfuckers
to
get
have
dehydrated.
They're going to leave.
Right.
Got to keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but
Yeah.
They
Right,
appreciate it,
but
bro.
Right.
check it out. You need a lot of heat. A lot
Heat.
of heat. First, you have to listen. I'm giving you the
Appreciate
menu.
it.
Okay. Listen.
Right now. All right, but look, y'all. I was trying to find this video, but I'm ready to read the documents. So, like what I was saying was, y'all, a lot of people are selling y'all this idea that we ready to get all this information ready to come out and all these people gonna be implicated, but it's not the case.
Some dudes belong in jail based on what they do and how they do it. We know that to be true. And it's just this situation, man, when they get down to all the facts and all what happened, he may belong in jail, bro. And that's not my doing. That's not Cassie doing. That's his doing and his learned behavior from the people that mentored him. You got to realize, man, he learned from Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons. He learned from Clyde Davis. You understand? When those people are telling you that they were heavy into the drugs, they was heavy into beating women and doing things at that age, at that crazy stage, that's going to make him think that he can get away with the same thing that they was getting away with back then. Some dudes belong in jail.
Now, I don't respect these guys. I don't respect nobody that was in Diddy camp and been quiet all these years. And then as soon as they fall out with Diddy, now they got to expose everything. Now everything Diddy was doing was wrong. I don't have no respect for them. Zero. All right, so let me get to this document. I was trying to find it because I was trying to explain to y'all the difference between a Diddy party and a freak off. Because I think a lot of people is mixing the two. You know, Diddy parties is Diddy parties where a lot of entertainers is there. Diddy freak offs is exclusive. Diddy have his freak offs with his main girl. You know, I don't think a lot of people is witnessing that. Now, on them tapes, you probably can see some things from Diddy parties. But the freak offs are different, y'all. And the reason why I made this video is because a lot of people think we're gonna see everything. But a deal has been reached between the prosecution and the defense attorney and the judge.
There he is.
Yeah, and the judge that says that no information will be leaked. No information. So this kills people's theory of what y'all thought, what y'all was ready to see. That's to say, a lot of people that was selling y'all that theory, y'all were just, you know, selling y'all a dream. I don't believe in selling people a dream, man. I don't want to sell you the dream. I want to keep it real as possible. All right, so can y'all see this, or do I gotta make it bigger? I'll take this down. Upon the application of the United States of America, with the consent of the undesigned counsel and the defendant having requested discovery under Fed Crim P16, the court hereby finds and orders to follow disclosure material. The government will make disclosure to the defendant of documents, objects, and information, including electronically stored information, as a courtesy or pursuant to federal rule of criminal procedure. And the government's general obligation to produce exculpatory and impeachment material. Exculpatory means basically important evidence that can find evidence of guilt. In the criminal case, why I can't get this thing out the side of the screen? Hold on. Oh, there we go. In the criminal cases, all of which will be referred to herein as this disclosure material. The government's disclosure material may include material that affects the privacy and confidentiality of individuals. Do I gotta say that again? Material may include material that affects the privacy and confidentiality of individuals, would impede, if prematurely disclosed, the government's ongoing investigation of uncharged individuals, will risk prejudicial pretrial publicity if publicity is disseminated, may be produced with more limited redactions than would otherwise be necessary. Now, this is pre-trial, but what I'm trying to explain to y'all is even during trial, we is not ready to get no groundbreaking evidence against anybody else. This is not authorized to be disclosed to the public or disclosed beyond that which is necessary for the defense of this criminal case, which means that certain evidence is not even going to come out at court. So say they got a video of, let's say, a Jay-Z, right? We just talking with a girl that may not be 18. This is not authorized to be disclosed to the public or disclosed beyond that which is necessary for the defense of this criminal case. Now, Jay-Z isn't a part of this criminal case. So this evidence has no reason to be disclosed. Sealed material. Certain of the government's disclosure material, referred to herein as sealed material, contains information that identifies or could lead to the identification of witnesses who may be subject to intimidation or obstruction, whose lives, persons, and property, as well as lives, persons, and property of loved ones, will be subject to the risk of harm, absent the protective considerations set forth herein. Can y'all see this? So I gotta make it bigger. All right. Attorney's possession only. APO material contains materials in the case raise a particular risk of affecting the privacy or safety of victims or witnesses, or the confidentiality of ongoing investigations. Disclosure material produced by the government to defense counsel that is either one, designed in whole or in part as attorney possession only by the government in emails or communication to defense counsel, or two, that includes a Bates or other label stating attorney possessions only or APO shall be deemed APO material. Any material designed as APO material shall be also deemed sealed material. Attorney's eyes only. Certain material in the case raise a more significant risk of affecting the privacy or safety of victims or witnesses, or the credibility of an ongoing investigation. Disclosure material produced by the government to the defense counsel that is either one, designed in whole or in part as attorney's eyes only by the government in emails or communication to the defense counsel. That includes Bates and other labels stating attorney's eyes only. All right, therefore, for good cause shown, it is hereby ordered. I'm trying to find something. Sealed material may be disclosed by defense counsel to A, defendant, who may only review such material in the presence of the Bureau of Prisons or law enforcement personnel, defense counsel, or any personal. So which means, y'all, the federal government is even holding some material back from Diddy and his lawyers. If it's not pertaining to Diddy, then we're not going to hear about it. Personnel for those conduct defense counsel is responsible. Personnel employed by or retained by counsel as needed for purpose of defending this action. And C, protective witnesses for purpose of defending this action, provided that defense counsel has reviewed this order with such prospective witness that such prospective witness has been provided with a copy of this order and has signed and dated attachment A to this order. Without further order of the court, upon obtaining the signature of the attached A of the prospective witness, the prospective witness counsel, if sealed materials disclosed to or disclosed with such counsel, and provided that neither the prospective witnesses nor counsel. Let me get to the conclusion. This by a lot of fucking material. Hold up. Other provisions. Okay, here go other provisions. What the fuck? Come on now, man. Dumbass shit. The order does not prevent the disclosure of any disclosure material in any hearing, trial had in this action, or to any judge or magistrate judge for the purpose of this action, but except to the extent provided otherwise below shall not be disclosed or used in any form in any other civil litigation, arbitration, or other private or alternative dispute resolutions. All filings should comply with the privacy protection provisions of Fed Arg Crim P49-1, the district local rules. This district ECF privacy policy and above provisions. 10. The government designation of material will be controlling absent contrary order of the court. The parties shall meet and confer regarding any dispute over such designations after the provision is limited as follows. Such material located on defendant's devices or cloud account shall be designed as APOs. Attorney privilege only. You hear that? Such material located on the defendant's devices or cloud accounts shall be designed as APOs, attorney privilege only, which the defendant may view under the following agreed upon conditions. 1. Material is viewed by the defendant in the presence of defense counsel. 2. On a device approved by the government in an approved private room in a jail facility or other facilities approved by the government. And 4. Defense counsel ensures that such material will not be accessible or viewable by incarcerated individuals other than the defendant, visitors, or others who are not part of the defense. Look, they already got some things redacted. These materials will be made available for inspection only and not electronically produced, which means Diddy will not get a copy of these things. The defendant may view blank in the presence of defense counsel at the Daniel Patrick whatever courthouse while monitored by law enforcement officials. Which the defense may seek de-designation by the court. The government may authorize in writing disclosure of disclosure material beyond that otherwise permitted by this order. Without further order in this court, the defense shall provide a copy of this order to prospective witnesses and persons retained by counsel to whom the defense intends to disclosure material in advance of such disclosures. All such persons shall be subject to the terms of this order if they review such material. Defense counsel shall maintain a record of what information has been disclosed to which such person, consistent with the paragraph 6C. Except for disclosure material that has been made part of the record of this case, the defense shall return to the government or securely destroy or delete all disclosure material, including any ESI, within 30 days of the expiration of the period for direct appeal from any verdict in the above captioned case. The period of direct appeal from any order dismissing any of the charges in the above captioned case. I fucking say it twice. And granting of any motion made on the behalf of the government. The defense counsel obligates to retain clients falls under the rules of professional conduct. And if disclosure material is provided by any personnel for whose conduct defense counsel is responsible or prospective witnesses, defense counsel shall make reasonable efforts to seek the return or destruction of such materials. Now, this is signed on by the judge. The provision of this order shall not terminate at the conclusion of this criminal prosecution, and the court will retain jurisdiction to enforce this order following termination of this case. Signed on by the judge. So basically, if y'all don't understand, if y'all just coming in, what I just read was showing people that we're not going to get this information that you think we get. Right, Shamel? Like, anybody that's selling y'all that, like, yo, who we going to hear about next? They either doing it for views or they unaware of how these things work. There's people, y'all, in this music industry that's still moving like Diddy. Still moving like Diddy. Still having freak offs, still partying. Yo, these people got too much money and too much power to ever allow their names to come out. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, y'all. Anything that we're going to see is going to be strictly pertaining to Diddy. We're not getting no other information. It's all going to be strictly pertaining to Diddy. But then you got Jaguar Wright. Now, I did a video the other day. Well, was that yesterday? On Jaguar Wright. A lot of people was like, yo, Jaguar Wright, she called it, she did this, she did that. Yo, but did she really? Fuck, this fuck boy always go live same time I go live. So, I want to show y'all something. Jaguar Wright. Jay-Z is next. Did y'all see this?
Little too late for those who are complicit. For the victims who have been to a...
Now, let me tell y'all who Jaguar Wright is, y'all. And I told y'all in this video, then I seen somebody copy it. But Jaguar Wright, let me tell you something about the end, how this shit go. Yo, you got some people, y'all, that's willing to do whatever they got to do for stardom. They're willing to do anything. Some of these people, y'all, will even sacrifice their fucking children. I know it sounds crazy. It's a wild scenario. Most of us couldn't even picture no shit like this. And Jaguar Wright was a singer in the late 90s, 98. So she had deals with the Roots, had deals with Jay-Z. You feel me? And what happened is Jaguar Wright she was down to play. Just like a lot of these people are. They down to play, and then they label themselves as victims, you know? And now, one thing I do not like, and I disagree with this, but this is the industry. This is how these people move. They use the fact that they can open certain doors for you. They use it over top of your head. So it's like, if you want a little bit of this, you gotta get a little bit of that. Do y'all remember Malcolm X and when Malcolm Little was talking to the guys what the fuck the dude name was? When he was like, man, he don't never lie. 15 years, he never missed a number. And he had bought Malcolm X a drink. Denzel Washington. He bought Denzel Washington a drink. And he was like, man, you want this? A little bit of this? A little bit of that. That's the industry. If you want a little bit of this, you're going to have to give a little bit of that. Now, some people turn their way and turn their back. I don't want none of that. But some people is willing to play. Now, what I get from Jaguar Wright is she was one of them people willing to play. You know? She was one of them people willing to play, and I don't think the people that she was playing with fulfilled their obligations, y'all, because for the most part, her career went nowhere. She did the big thing with Jay-Z, and then her career fell flat. She put out some albums that they did nothing. So I don't respect the person that was willing to play. You know, when you thought the cards was in your hand, you know, when you had the trump cards and you had the ace, king, queen, joker, and you was ready to run wheels. And now you get a card full of motherfucking hearts and diamonds with no face cards. Now you want to flip the table over. Nah, I don't fuck with that. Because it's not organic. It's not really about the victims. You understand? Like you didn't care about the victims when you had a handful of aces. Now you got a handful of hearts and diamonds and clubs with no face cards. Now you want to flip the table over. Now you want to ruin the whole game. I don't respect that. I think that's what Jaguar Wright is. Because if she harbored these feelings and she always felt like this, you've been in the game since 98. Why you just start speaking in 2019? I think in 2019 she realized it was over. You know, I might as well tell some of the things I seen. And I don't respect that. That's similar to, this is what I said in the video. Make sure I check that video out because I talked more about it in that video I just dropped yesterday. But Jaguar Wright is the friend that when y'all fall out with each other, the one that tell all your business. The one that tell all your business. Like, God damn, you felt this way about me. We probably should have never been friends. Why is we ever friends when you always felt this way about me? That's Jaguar Wright, y'all. And how many people respect those people? You know, whether we friends or not, you're supposed to be able to keep my fucking secrets. You know, I confided in you. That shouldn't get out nowhere. But that's what Jaguar Wright is doing. I call those type of people are cutthroat, cruddy, conniving, sneaky. But check out. And then it's another thing. I gotta mention this too. Jaguar Wright is being held like, yo, she called Diddy arrest. Yo, but she didn't. There's no way that Jaguar Wright could have known that Diddy was going to file this lawsuit on these people and these people was going to come down on Diddy. Because that's what we witnessing, y'all. What's up, Naeem? That's what we witnessing. We not witnessing justice for any victims. And then them lawsuits, y'all, is fugazi. I talked about that at length on other videos. The lawyer that got the 120 cases, he said that a lot of times Diddy offered these people a drink. And if they didn't drink, they didn't drink the drink, they had to leave. These people chose to drink. And guess what he said happened after that, y'all? After they drank this drink, they woke up the next morning afraid. You know, they woke up, what was the words he used? Afraid. Damn, I can't think of the fucking word. Yo, but injured, afraid, injured, scared, unaware. Like, yo, what does that means? Nothing. In the grand scheme of things, that means nothing. But what happened is when you throw these action words out there, and your mind is going to do the rest. But in reality, he said he didn't say anything. I didn't went to sleep and woke up injured before. That don't mean anybody assaulted me. That don't mean anybody did anything to me. I just woke up injured. I drunk some liquor and woke up injured. My fucking foot hurting, shoulder hurting. Like, God, that fuck happened to my shoulder. That don't mean anybody touched me. But that's how this lawyer is presenting this. And what I'm trying to get people to understand is it's all bogus. It's bogus. But this is what Jaguar Wright had to say the other day. I bet she is. I bet she is. She's a fraud.
Now, should they speak up now?
I think it's getting a little too late for those who are complicit. For the victims who have been too afraid to come forward because the diddler has been running around with impunity.
With them video show.
Come forward. But for the people that have been denying it, you know what? Let's not be coy. You know, I am Jaguar. So let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it a bean. Stevie J should be charged. Mary J. Blige should also be charged. Jennifer Lopez should definitely be charged. Should I keep going?
I mean, you're hitting it off.
Jay-Z
I can believe that.
should be charged. Khaled should be charged. Rick Ross should be charged. Usher should be charged and tried with him. Or for Justin Bieber alone.
Now, Carisha and Rick Ross just sat down together in an interview.
I know. Two Diddy doo-wop ops. What a reunion. Only thing they got
Now,
The only thing they got.
Will Diddy start snitching?
do it up. Yeah,
You better.
If Jaguar Wright should be charged. Yeah, he lied.
But the only thing I'm interested in him talking about is everything he knows about Kathy Coriana White.
Like, yo, she's just feeding into all these narratives that hasn't been proven.
See,
J-Rock.
I know you know what happened to Corey.
Exactly, Latanya. That's what it is. Jaguar is jealous that her music career didn't go nowhere. You know, she probably did a little bit of things, you know, with promises that she was going to be the next big thing. That's why she come after Mary J. That's why she come after Beyonce. Because in her mind, probably because what they told her, because she was down to play, she was going to be the next big thing. But Mary J rose. Beyonce rose. And she ain't never reached where she thought she could have got. Even though she played the game. You don't have to play the game. But what happens is, yo, these people want to play the game. They want to be famous. They want to have the money. They want to have the influence. So they're willing to do whatever it is they got to do to get it. But in certain cases, y'all, it don't work out that way. But whose fault is that? Yeah, you can blame the people because I don't respect people moving like that. You definitely can blame them. But are you a victim if you was willing to play the game? Are you a victim if you was a willing participant in the game? I don't know, y'all. Y'all gotta ask yourself that. It is all of them.
I know that. You and Jay-Z. Down in Vegas at Tao with Claudia. Why don't you just talk about Kathy? That might help. That might help a lot.
I would say, if those who don't know who Kathy is,
Kathy Coriana White.
Are y'all familiar with this story?
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress.
Are y'all familiar with the Kathy Coronar, whatever her name is, story? I'm gonna play it after that. Some people that don't know.
So she announced that she was going public with their relationship and the baby.
She put out a diss
do you feel the federal government will probably speak to Jay-Z in regards?
They already have.
Oh.
They talked to him before he made that Super Bowl announcement. Have you ever seen what happens to a rat when it's trapped in a heated environment?
Oh, it'll eat through anything.
Claw eat its way through anything. So I want y'all to imagine this. I got Jay-Z on his back with his stomach exposed. Diddy is the rat that I'm using. And I'm going to take a metal trash can and put it right on Jay-Z's stomach with Diddy right in there. And I'm going to heat that bitch up and see what he eat through.
So that is
She's a good actor.
Wright, who is an artist, musician.
She's mad at them people, y'all, because those are the people. I don't know how relationship to Diddy, but I know Jay-Z. She was a background singer for Jay-Z. And Jay-Z probably hit her before. Made her some promises. And she's upset that it didn't work out that way. That's what it is, y'all. That's what it is. And that's what I see from her. She was a person that was willing to play, and she crapped out. She rolled the dice. She gambled with him, and she lost. She rolled twos. You understand? She rolled a 12 on a come out, and she crapped out. Now she out here trying to so-called expose things, but is that respected? Is that respected in today's society? Now, what's that girl name? Kathy Coriana White. Let me show y'all this girl case. Now, that situation is strange, you know, but strange things happen. Kathy White. I watched a video on this the other day. Beyonce reacts to women talking to Jay-Z is a must-see. No, that's not it. 10 years ago. And this woman ended up dying. Hold on. So she put out a diss song. I bet she was. She was with all the shit, damn.
He likes model chicks. He likes all naturally flawless model chicks like me. What up, Jay?
Jay-Z's alleged mistress, Liv, pens an open letter to Beyonce in a new rap. Everyone, I'm Denny Directo, and this is trending on ET Now. The amateur rapper has been the center of many tabloids, claiming she is to blame for J and B's rumor falling out. In the song titled Sorry Mrs. Carter, Liv goes on the defensive, claiming she never slept with Jay-Z.
Side chick never, mistress who? Y'all misinformed, got it misconstrued. Be a lonely chick for a beer number 2. Be damn if I don't, be damn if I do. Fucking to the top, man, Jay never screwed.
She samples Outkast Miss Jackson for the chorus, where she seemingly apologizes to Beyonce, but later goes on to diss the singer.
You out here telling him how to surfboard. Come on now, surfboards. Monica Lewinsky. You a married woman.
No, it ain't. It's how you
tell these girls how to be wise.
See, the thing is,
Why don't you tell these girls how to act around your husband?
E.T. actually
see, the thing is, Latonya, the funny thing about this whole Diddy thing is, most people don't even understand how the feds is even able to fit Diddy case under the RICO statute. They just think what he did. It wasn't that it was illegal. The things that the thing, all right. Diddy's sex parties or his freak offs was organized. It was the organization of it that made it organized crime, because you flew sex workers from in and out of state. Money was involved. People got paid off if somebody got hurt, you know. And that's why they was able to fit it under a RICO. So you had the manager, or say Cassie. Cassie booked the freak offs, or she found the sex workers. The manager picked the hotel. The security guard, if something happened, you know, the security guard was the one that threatened the person. The security guard was the one that retrieved videotapes. You know, if you're talking about the thing that happened between Cassie and Diddy in the hotel, y'all know that was a freak off session. The beef, when we seen that video between Cassie and Diddy, that was during a freak off session. Wasn't a whole lot of people there. From what we see, we just see Cassie and Diddy, and they say it was a sex worker in the room. But that's the reason they was able to fit it under a RICO is not because of 1,000 bottles of baby oil. It was because everybody had a job to do in constructing the freak offs, and everybody had a job to do in the cleaning up the freak offs after it was done. Is that really worth life in prison? Is Diddy having a freak off worth life in prison? And we talking about one victim, which is Cassie, allegedly. That's what the word is. I've been telling y'all that since the day I read the indictment. Most news sources didn't start telling y'all that. Thank you. Most news sources didn't start telling y'all that till a couple days ago. You got one victim in Cassie that was in a relationship. And I explained to y'all the cuckolds, and some people like to see their girl or guy having sex with somebody else. It's wild as it may be. Show y'all what it is. Not my thing. You feel me? But it is a segment of people that likes that. But the way they was able to fit it in, like, yo, this is loosely fit under RICO statute. But that's the way they was able to do it because of the organization of it. You know, after, you know, you had somebody bringing in drugs, you know, then you had somebody that bring IVs. You know, the freak offs got intense. You know, you heard the man. Did he say like the heat turned up? Baby pellet, like it was slippery. It was fucking, they was slipping, sliding in that motherfucker. You feel me? It's crazy. But that's how they was able to fit it under the RICO. I haven't seen no other page explain it. No other page, as I saying, explain it to y'all. So people just getting this freak offs, RICO, like, nah, man, like you talking about a guy that basically just brought porn to him. That's all he did. He brought porn to him. Some people watch porn. Then he brought it to him. You know, he bring the camera out. You know, he get the baby all down, and you know, Cassie was the star of the film. Crazy as it is, that's what we dealing with. Now the lawsuits, something different. It's not the same. Everybody is bunching it all. It's not the same. A lot of these lawsuits is nonsense. Nonsense. And I explained it to y'all yesterday how. So let's go to Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright was on Piers Morgan. And I'm sure most people seen it. Oh, matter of fact, man, we ain't never checked the Karen girl. Hold on. I got a video of that. A good video that explains the whole situation that I seen a couple days ago. It's not my video, but I seen it a couple days ago. Now, yesterday, y'all, for people that's new, we dived into this. Diddy is just like Weinstein and Epstein, and we figured out that shit is 100% false. 100% false. It's totally different. Did that yesterday. You know, we just try to put the truth out there, man. People can take it how they want, but we try to put the truth out there, yo, because it's been a lot of lies told. And what they're not ready to do is taint the jury pool by killing them in public opinion. Regardless of how people feel about them, everybody deserves a fair day in court. But what's going on right now is they throwing out all these fake lawsuits that hasn't been filed. I think people forget about that. People are reciting these lawsuits as evidence, and they haven't even been filed. And I said yesterday, what if people find out, right, that out of this 120 lawsuits, that only 2 get filed or 3 get filed.
Some of them, of course.
Yeah, appreciate it. My cash app at the bottom. And Baltimore swag.
Stop it from happening.
But listen to him.
Yeah.
Because everybody like to reference him. Listen to what he said, y'all. Listen to him.
Specific drink. They were made to drink it.
Listen to this.
Drink it for parties.
You love learning.
Listen to his lawsuit
Never seemed to find the right fit
and what he's looking
when
for.
it came to school.
There was a pattern in trying to figure out who they are. Party.
All right, here we go.
He filed the case.
These names that will be included, the ones that you are willing to include in these suits, why will they surprise us so much? Is it because they're beloved people in the Hollywood universe?
I've gotten this question so many times, and I know
there's definitely a lot more going
obviously,
on.
You want to know who they are, some kind of facts, so we can kind of figure out who they are. I think I'll just leave it at this.
Listen to him, y'all.
You know, it was a secret that everyone knew about what was going on with regard to these parties and some of the things that happened in these so-called after parties. There was a pattern in practice, custom of behavior that went on for many, many years. The MO of how it went down was pretty much the same for many, many years. It typically included, people identified and specifically invited to certain venues and parties. When they showed up, they were given a specific drink. They were made
exactly, Latoya, you get it.
They would many times be kicked out.
You get it, Latoya.
And a lot of these folks,
they out here leaking information. They leaking tapes. Like, yo, what kind of investigation is this? Like, what's going on? It's rumored I'm gonna let y'all listen to him, but it's being rumored now that tapes and I'm gonna play that tapes are being shopped around. Wait, who's doing this? Who is doing this? We only know that one group of people got the tapes. Why are they being shopped around? And what type of investigative tactic is this? Is this even legal? Is this even legal? Like, yo, what we witnessing right now, y'all, and people will not want to admit it because how they feel about the dude is corruption. That's what we're witnessing right now. We witnessing corruption. We witnessing lies being told by the media. Listen to y'all. Everybody like to talk about this dude, but listen to him.
Invited to certain venues and parties. When they showed up, they were given a specific drink. They were made to drink it. They didn't drink it. They would many times be kicked out of the party, and
they was made to drink it. But if they didn't drink it, which means they wasn't made to drink it, they would get kicked out of the party. Well, I would leave.
A lot of these folks would drink this drink that was provided to them and literally could not remember hardly anything that happened thereafter. And the next morning woke up disheveled, injured, confused, scared, ashamed, full of guilt.
So after they drank this drink, y'all, they woke up disheveled, confused, angered, full of guilt, injured. Yo, what the fuck does that mean? Everybody is repeating this guy. Yo, but what does that mean? Now, what happens is when you throw them words out is the brain start wondering. The brain start wondering. But that don't make it facts. Yeah, keep it G News, yeah. That don't make it facts. I'm gonna play again one more time, man. Yeah, keep it G News. Yup. Listen to what he said, y'all. And then we're gonna go back to Jaguar Wright. But I gotta show people this because people keep talking about this. 120 lawsuits, kids, and all this is nonsense.
Was pretty much the same for many, many years. It typically included, people identified and specifically invited to certain venues and parties. When they showed up, they were given a specific drink. They were made to drink it. They didn't drink it. They would many times be kicked out of the party. And a lot of these folks would drink this drink that was provided to them and literally could not remember hardly anything that happened thereafter. And the next morning woke up disheveled, injured, confused, scared, ashamed, full of guilt, and wondering what in the heck happened to them.
Woke up disheveled. Yo, that does not mean assaulted. That does not mean, how many people they went then drunk, right? And woke up disheveled, confused, injured, wondering what the heck happened to him. Yo, I didn't went to sleep in the car and woke up in the house. Like, yo, that does not constitute a crime. Especially when he asked them, when they had a choice. They had a choice to drink it. And they chose to drink it anyway. They chose to drink it anyway. Like, yo, we gotta be real, y'all. And it's not no children, y'all. These lawsuits haven't been filed. They haven't been filed. And this is the question I pose to everybody. What if y'all find out that out of this 120 lawsuits that was presented to the people, what if they only filed one? Will people feel like would y'all feel like y'all was lied to? Would y'all feel like y'all was led astray? Y'all was betrayed? How would people rationalize that? How would people rationalize that? If I'm wrong, I get on here and say I'm wrong. Yo, everybody keep talking about Justin Bieber. Yo, where's the proof? Justin Bieber never came out and said anything. Justin Bieber never came out and said anything. Usher never came out and said anything. Like, yo, and see, that's what I'm saying. Yo, people is using. Yo, for one, yo, we being tricked by wordplay. We're being tricked by wordplay. Like, you see how I broke down his words? What he just said was they was being made to drink it. But, so by him saying they was being made to drink it, that means they was being forced. But, if they didn't drink it, they was told to leave the party. So you can't have it both ways. You can't be forced and given an option. You know, it's either you was forced or you wasn't. You can't be forced and given an option. And then he goes on to talk about how they felt the next morning. You know, disheveled. He used words like disheveled, injured. But yo, all those words equal nothing. All those words equal nothing. It doesn't equal assault. It doesn't equal drugging. Yo, I didn't got drunk, yo, and woke up injured before. A lot of people have. Man, yo, what the fuck happened to my shoulder? Fuck, my leg hurt for what I fell last night. It's just, man, you drunk too much. But since the way the human brain works, yo, the human brain fills in the blanks. The human brain naturally fills in the blanks. Like, y'all ever seen them games where they telling you to count, but they skipping letters, but your mind count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But it's really 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. You understand what I'm saying? The brain fills in the blanks. And people know this. So if you throw certain words out there, your brain gonna do the rest. That's why people keep saying, no, but it was children. No, but it's 120 people. No, it's not. It's not the truth. Being tricked by wordplay. It's no manners, y'all. Let's go to the part we discussing the lawsuits.
Is to that. Prior to Contrary.
Then we're gonna move on to Jaguar Wright because we still gotta discuss her.
It wasn't until I found a nurse practitioner.
That effect?
I think that the government, obviously, typically when you deal with the government, you know, they do not bring an indictment unless they can absolutely prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. I mean, that's anytime you. I
don't know how to do that.
They're very thorough.
I'm sure you probably can, because that's what I was asking, Mojo. That's what I was asking. Like, how do we fact check these things? We just found out yesterday that one of the girls was lying. Another woman, and I'm gonna go to her. She's discussing a lawsuit, but she just dropped one of her clients because she was a sex worker and they couldn't find. I don't know what happened, but she dropped her. Like, yo, how can you traffic a sex worker? She's already dealing in that type of lifestyle. How she say she was a sex? Her lawsuit is ranging from 2004 to 2009. She didn't admit it. She was a sex worker. How do you traffic a sex worker? She's already involved. Like, how does that happen? She's already having sex for money. Which, how's it by force? And that's already what she doing, Zachary. That's already what she doing. So how do you traffic her? He did it against her will? Yeah, that makes absolutely no sense to me, y'all. That makes sense to y'all. That makes sense to y'all. The girl is already, and you talking about Diddy, who's a billionaire. This girl was already dealing in sex work for 5 years. She's already dealing in sex work. Y'all think that Diddy had to force her to do something she was already doing anyway? Like, think about that, y'all. Diddy had to force her to do something she was already doing anyway. Man, y'all crazy as a motherfucker, man. Hey, yo. Man, y'all better use common sense.
To pursue justice in the civil system on behalf of the clients that I've vetted.
Thank you, Keisha.
I think
everybody understands it. They just want to act like they don't.
That's interesting that you said you think the indictment will grow. Maybe more charges could be filed against Diddy based on what we're going to hear in these more than 100 lawsuits. So let's talk about those allegations for a second. Again, we're just seeing this pattern over and over about sexual assault, false imprisonment, drugging. Can you tell me a bit more about the allegations that your clients are bringing?
I just talk
right,
generally
straight
about
facts.
It's I kind of put them in two different buckets, if you will. The first bucket is individuals, young people trying to break into the entertainment industry, whether it be acting, singing, dancing, that sort of thing. People who are recruited.
Listen to who he's looking for. Listen to what he's looking for, y'all. And I explained this yesterday, but I always got to explain because we always got new people. These are the lawsuits. It's not the indictment. This is not the freak offs. Diddy, right? Been in the industry for 30 years. I'm sure there's been a lot of people in the studio with him over these years. Diddy done had a lot of parties. So this guy, he said he got two groups of people he's looking for. People that was looking for a record deal and people that may have partied with him. Think about that, y'all. People looking for a record deal and people that may have partied with him. That is a major part of any rapper, any entertainer, a hip hop that's in any genre of music. You're gonna be in the studio a lot, and you're gonna be in parties. You know, you do hostings. Chances are he ran across a lot of people in that time frame. But that don't mean he necessarily did anything damaging to them. And then we gotta realize too, like I said earlier in the video, y'all, it's people, y'all. It's people out here that would do anything for fame. Now, is Diddy wrong for using that against them people? Hell yeah. But if you seeking fame and you seeking to be rich that much, yeah, you can't call yourself a fucking victim when somebody play on that. When somebody prey on that, you can't call yourself no victim. You came there knowing this is what you was trying to do. You know the game these people play, man. These people been playing the same game for 40 years. You know the game they play.
Our clients are bringing?
just talk generally about them. I kind of put them in two different buckets, if you will. The first bucket is individuals, young people trying to break into the entertainment industry, whether it be acting, singing, dancing, that sort of thing. People who are recruited by affiliates of Sean Combs or others in his group. Who one individual I'm thinking about in particular who went to a studio to audition and ended up being allegedly sexually assaulted. That's one bucket. The larger bucket is just people who are identified perhaps in
you was looking for some type of record deal
by affiliates of Sean Combs or others in his group. Who one individual I'm thinking about in particular who went to a studio to audition and ended up being allegedly sexually assaulted. That's one bucket. The larger bucket is just people who are identified perhaps in a crowd, on the street, in a club, recruited to come to parties and get to the party and are drugged and then are assaulted.
Hey, Hunter, that's what they doing.
That's the second bucket. That's the larger bucket. And so it's kind of, the MO is the same, but the group of people is a little bit different. You have some aspiring singers and aspiring dancers and actors, that group.
So let me tell y'all something, right? One time I was at a party in DC, right? Deshaun Jackson was there. I think he was the receiver for the Eagles at the time. John Wall was there. He played for the Wizards. Trey Songz was there. It was Deshaun Jackson, Trey Songz, John Wall, and somebody else. It was a lot of guys there. A lot of people with notoriety was there. So I watched Trey Songz get his bodyguard or whoever he was to pick this girl out. Picked out. Girl didn't know him. I'm standing right next to the girl. The bodyguard goes to the girl like, man, Trey Songz wants you to come with him. She jumped straight over there. Went straight over there to the VIP. I said, God damn. Is that fucking easy? Like, this is how these entertainer guys move. You don't have to go. You don't have to go. But that's what he's looking for. Maybe you was picked out in the crowd. They choose to go. You can't choose to go. Because you know what you at some point, at some age, you gotta know what you're getting yourself into. You gotta know what you're getting yourself into. I've witnessed this with my own eyes. I was shocked. I had no clue it was that fucking easy. And the girl was from Baltimore. I forgot her name. She probably still around somewhere. Pretty girl. Trey Songz straight picked her out the crowd, sent whoever he sent to get her, and she went straight over there. Yeah, Trey Songz wants you. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all how this shit work, man. But these are the people he trying to get to bunch them up in this lawsuit.
That's the second bucket. That's the larger bucket. And so it's kind of, the MO is the same, but the group of people is a little bit different. You have some aspiring singers and aspiring dancers and actors, that group. And then you have people that just were flattered to be invited to a party by somebody of Sean Combs' stature and celebrity. So, it's all of it's sad, all of it's egregious, but each case is different.
This next part is really just sad to even talk about. You mentioned
there's
that
not no minors involved.
50%,
Listen
half
to
of these people who are filing suit actually had already reported this.
He gonna talk about the minors.
To the police or to hospitals, maybe in the way of a rape kit or something like that, following the sexual assault. So this had already
exactly, Tony.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that charges should have been filed when those things were reported?
I'm still delving.
See, what happens is, y'all. What happens is, let me tell y'all. What happens is, people don't want to put in the hard work no more. Nobody wants to put in the hard work. Everybody want to take shortcuts. And when you do favors for these rappers, with hopes that your career is going to blossom, that's a shortcut. Once you put the work in, you can put the work in and ain't gotta go through none of it's women in this industry that didn't go through none of this shit. They just put the work in. Now I'm sure it was men that preyed on her. I'm sure it was men that tried to offer them career advancement for sexual pleasures. I'm sure it all happened. And these women declined. And they just worked until it wasn't no more denying them. Men included. So it wasn't no more denying them. But then you got some people that want to take the shortcut. They don't mind doing a little bit something strange for a career advancement. You can't call them people victims, man. It's not 20 minors, Scott. You're making this up. Scott, none of these lawsuits has been filed. And since when they start announcing lawsuits before they file them? Since when? Why are they announcing lawsuits before they file them? I'm going to say it again for the new people that just came in. What if y'all find out that out of this 120 lawsuits, he only filed one? Will he owe us? Will he owe Diddy an apology? If he only filed one of these lawsuits, should he then get on? Should he make an announcement? Do he owe us a second press conference? All right, y'all. I know I told you we had 3,000 people call us. I know I told y'all we was looking at 120 lawsuits, but we only filed one. Should he have to do that? Like, sure enough, though. Should he have to do that?
Many of these folks who woke up the next morning scared, ashamed. Some cases, you can't find their shoes. The only thing they remember is being forced to take a drink. End up at the hospital, drug tested, and find drugs in their system when they're not people that typically do drugs. And in several cases where they found what was described as a horse tranquilizer in their system. Obviously those people who went to the hospital reported that.
So basically, if you went to a party, if you went to a Diddy party, right, and you got too fucked up on your own, not because you was forced, you got too fucked up on your own, you got a lawsuit. These people wasn't forced to do anything. It probably are some victims. See, but exactly, that's what they praying on. I'm gonna tell y'all what they doing. They praying on that since Diddy been in this lifestyle for 30 years, y'all do know that's a lifestyle, right? Y'all do know that it's something called a party lifestyle. It's a whole lifestyle with it. You're gonna stay out late. You're gonna be having wild sex with strangers. That is a lifestyle. So what they praying on is that Diddy has been living his lifestyle for 30 years. He have had to done some wrong. He had to done some wrong. That's what they praying on. They praying on that, if we can throw this fishing rod out there, we gotta be able to at least get one victim. We gotta be able to get one victim. But my question to y'all is that how this is supposed to work? Is that how this system is supposed to work? I thought they supposed to do the investigation before they come with charges. But it looked like they charged him first, and now they're trying to build the investigation through the internet and through public opinion. And why? Why are they doing that? That's not how the system supposed to run. It's not how the system supposed to run, y'all. I just want y'all to pay attention to what's going on. Yeah, I know they made a hotline phone number.
You know, what happened after that, why it wasn't pursued. You know, there's as many different reasons for that as there are different clients. So, you know, I'm not casting aspersions at the authorities or casting aspersions at the hospital. It just is what it is. And you should know, and I think you probably do know, is that
and no list dropping cream corn.
Someone is victimized in this way, it takes a heck of a lot of courage to come forward.
Yeah, but Scott, they didn't do this in a year. This was a 6-month investigation. Did y'all see how short that indictment was? Yo, when have we ever seen a 14-page federal indictment? 14 pages. 14, y'all.
This is to prove. I think we released yesterday some statistics about sexual abuse and assault and exploitation in the United States, about the small percentage of people that actually report it, and the much smaller percentage of cases that are ever actually taken, and then the much smaller percentage of prosecutions that ever actually occur. It's a nationwide pervasive issue, and if you don't report it immediately, it becomes that much harder to report, because, you know, the first thing we're going to hear, and I think we've already heard from Mr. Combs' team, is that if something had happened, why didn't they report it immediately? That's kind of the knee-jerk reaction of most people who don't understand.
Hey Tony, it's about Diddy filed the lawsuit and they coming down on him. I did a video on it. I don't want to keep mentioning them people's names, but Diddy was in a beef with a major company and filed a lawsuit on him, and ever since then it's a domino effect. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Even if Diddy did do some wrong, yo, this is not about justice for no victims. Yo, this is about revenge. This is about revenge. If they really cared about victims of assaults, yo, these allegations been around Diddy's name for how many years now? You know, how many years now has we known, or we have been hearing, because we ain't know anything, that Diddy be involved in some wild activities? You know, they should have got him back then. But no. Once Diddy jumped outside the lines and he thought that he was on the same level as other people, they crushed him. And then they killing him in public opinion with shit that's not true. Shit that's made up. Like I said, y'all, 120 lawsuits. If he filed 2, yo, I would be highly upset as a person that watched that shit, and as a person that told others about it, as a person that repeated and regurgitated information. I would be highly upset knowing that he announced 120 lawsuits and only filed 2. Highly upset. Like, what did they just fucking lied? Yo, nobody's going to squeal, yo, because they don't want anybody else, y'all. They don't want anybody else. They want Diddy.
Actually work in the real world, because it's hard to prove these cases. Even if you reported it on the spot, it's hard to prove these cases. It makes it much harder, especially when you're worried about ramifications from your family, even from your job, from your community.
Yeah, John, why didn't do it years ago?
And also, you're dealing with a celebrity who's celebrated, and
exactly,
word
Katie.
Fanatic is the short for that.
It's not gonna happen, Jordan. Not gonna happen, Jordan.
It's actually twice as fast.
Is fan, and fans can be quite nasty. I've already gotten a lot of threats on social media. Just
right, Sky. But still, a Sky. Even with that 120, it hasn't been filed. They haven't been filed.
There's a real fear there, and I think the fact that the federal government took action,
Kale,
the fact
you
that
see
an arrest and an indictment, the fact that bail was denied, I think now 3 times, gives people some.
No, exactly. You was right. What you racing for?
And then when they see that other people are stepping forward, I think it's a good thing. And to have a dialogue and a discussion about the difficulty of these cases and how pervasive this kind of conduct is good for everybody.
Right, Tiffany.
And so I'm glad that and proud these people stepping forward, their courage.
Matt,
and I'm gonna do my best.
Matt, Matt, you must just came in. Yo, in the beginning of the video, we read that everything and all this evidence is going to be sealed. All the evidence in this trial is going to be sealed pre-trial, and more than likely is going to be sealed during trial. Nobody, no other names other than Diddy is going to be mentioned.
Fashion and make sure that obviously one of the defendants will.
It is crazy,
Sean
Frank
Combs, but I think there'll be many more.
You use the word courage, and I really want to highlight that because you're right. This is such strength for these people to come forward at maybe the darkest moment of their life and reveal it to the world. But the strength there is really
Ain't gonna be no cameras in trial.
And I'm wondering, as things move forward, if federal prosecutors do reach out to any of your plaintiffs,
it might be some doors in there.
Testify and tell their story in that way.
I'm certainly going to encourage them to do so. Absolutely going to encourage them to do so. That's of course another level of courage to do that. One of the things that each plaintiff has been told is that at some point your name will be revealed. When we file the case, obviously we're going to reveal your name to the people that we sue and the entities that we sue. We're going to file your case as John Doe or Jane Doe, but it's up to the court ultimately whether we will have to reveal your name publicly. And I've tried to make it clear that ultimately the court may say you must reveal your name. And so I've tried to make that clear on the front end. Now,
yeah, that is crazy.
That's even a step further when you talk about, are you going to be a witness in a federal prosecution? That's a big deal. You can't hide your name and your identity when you serve as a witness in a case, especially a case against somebody like Sean Combs. It's going to be very high profile, and in these cases, I think you probably common sense tells you that the first defense is always going to be to attack the victim. That's the first defense. It's been that way since I've been handling these cases for 20-some years.
Poker, man. What it is?
You got to make it clear on the front end that look, you're going to be put under a microscope. Everything you've done and said your entire life is going to be examined. Anything you've ever posted.
Hey, Buddy Bell. That's exactly what they're looking for.
Examined. Every job.
That's exactly what they're looking for.
Employer you've ever had. They're going to talk to them. They're going to do a deep dive into your background, and be prepared for that. But ultimately, none of that has anything to do with what happened in the room at the time that individual was assaulted. So
Jaguar Wright is crazy, bro. Jaguar Wright is
very reluctant to come forward, laying aside the guilt, the shame.
Jaguar Wright is a disgruntled employee.
People have, like, how did I put myself in this position? That sort of thing. When I was representing the women who were assaulted or allegedly assaulted by Deshaun Watson, the football player, at the beginning I encouraged them.
He took the same shit with Deshaun Watson. Y'all familiar with Deshaun Watson situation? I ain't even heard this before. Are y'all familiar with what happened with Deshaun Watson? The minute Deshaun Watson asked for a trade of the Cleveland Browns, lawsuit, 30 women came out. Deshaun Watson want these strange massages. Do y'all remember that? It's very strange he was a part of that. I'm just saying like they got picks. They got certain lawyers that, be used for certain activities. That man was a fucking lawyer for the victims of Deshaun Watson. Wow. The minute he wanted a trade from Cleveland, now all these fucking lawsuits coming out.
Assaulted by Deshaun Watson, the football player. At the beginning I encouraged them to speak to the NFL, and the NFL investigators, former federal prosecutors. These were very professional, very sophisticated people who were leading the investigation on behalf of the NFL. One of the first questions they asked these women was, "What were you wearing?"
They ain't gonna tell us. They ain't gonna tell us about the ones they filed. We're gonna have to look that up on our own.
Which is, even the people who are supposed to help you, who are trying to gather information, their first thought is somehow you're to blame for the conduct of someone else. And so it's very hard to
that's fucking crazy. I ain't never heard him, so I ain't even know he worked on Deshaun Watson case. It makes sense now. That shit makes perfect fucking sense. You got Gloria Allred, who's been proven to be a liar. They already proved she lied. I think most people saying that, right? Most people saying that Gloria Allred, so-called victim, is lying, right? What am I looking at? I'm looking at the right thing. Make sure y'all subscribe to my Instagram. Keep it G News. Can y'all see that? Check out my latest uploads. We keeps it all the way real. No cut cards. No games. All right. Oh, yeah, we're going to get to her. Let me show y'all the other lawsuit real fast. For people that haven't seen it. For people that haven't seen it. Let me show you the other lawsuit that's been proven that the girl lying.
It's a lie on me. That's all I'm saying.
Big Joe Sherman wants you to look at his face.
Tiffany, they ain't coming at nobody else. I mean, they might do.
You've never met her.
See, that's the thing, Tiffany. As long as black men and black people keep being quiet, they're gonna get their chance. It's either you're gonna stay inside the lines forever and just let these people fuck you over, or you're gonna speak up and stand on something. But what happens is nobody wanna stand on anything. If everybody's afraid to lose a fucking red penny, they don't want to lose anything. So eventually, if that's what people mean by this person going to be next, eventually they will be next. But they're not going to be next in relationship to Diddy, because in this case, in this situation, they don't want anybody but Diddy. So nobody else is going down on behalf of Diddy. Now, they could be next if they step outside the lines like Diddy did, for being quiet and watching that shit happen. It's not about the celebrities, black girl. It's about these people showing that no matter how far you go in this country, she tried to whitemail him. She tried to whitemail him, man, y'all. If you will be, like I explained before, if you will be my witness against Diddy, then my attorney will leave you out of any proceedings, because we have statements that you physically showed over 8 people videos of me and you 2 people in the studio. Or me and you to people in the studio. How's Meek? It is white male. The fuck, black males don't participate in that. That's shit. I don't even know how I don't even know how that was called black male. The shit's called white male. That's what it is. They always try to attach black to everything negative. Black market, black male. No, shit called white male. The fuck? That's what it is. That's white males. That's their practices. You stop attaching black to every goddamn thing negative, man. Shit called black ball. Everything black is negative. No, it's white male on Keep It G News. Anytime you hear anytime we have these situations where somebody's trying to leverage something against another person, it's called white male. Or we can use fraud. Fraud not a bad word, but they call it blackmail. But I don't call it that.
Did all that. I'm single. You can call me that.
The blacklist.
But I never
Exactly.
disrespected or seen this woman in my life. Come on. It's a money grab.
It's time black, everything negative.
She know that what she did to
me, black ice,
destroyed my family, destroyed my livelihood. I can't get a job.
Sherman's legal team says they plan on filing a counterclaim in the near future.
Because that's how white males operate. What the fuck are you talking about? It's more white males in business to operate like that than black people. The fuck, why is it called blackmail? Should never been called blackmail. Should have always been called white male. If they want to add a color to it. Now, if you want to just call it fraud or deception or playing a leverage game, we can do that. But we ain't gonna tie black to that motherfucker. Now look at this lady. It's a bidding war for sex tapes involving young A-list celebrities.
What are you?
Where's all these goddamn tapes coming from?
You hearing tonight?
I actually received the New York Post article from the person who contacted me to sell the tape. They sent me that article. I was not shocked by what I read in the article. I was hoping that even the client that I contacted would reach out and see and kind of alert.
Yeah, but where are these tapes coming from? The feds got all the tapes. The feds have all the tapes. Why are tapes being released, y'all? Like, y'all don't think that's crazy? Yo, what they, like, and I explained this before. Yo, what they doing to Diddy is the same thing they did to Martin Luther King. The same practices. I forgot what they called it, y'all. But when Martin Luther King was under investigation from the CIA, they was writing letters to his wife, sending him pictures of old. They was sending his wife pictures of girls that Dr. King was with. Like, yo, they was playing a dirty game. That's what they doing to Diddy. They playing the same dirty game. Yo, what was that called, y'all? She is a fraud. I'm gonna get back to her. What was that called when they was doing that to Dr. King? Somebody look that up. It was a name for it. It was a name for it.
Was going on, and to
just like the Cassie video, exactly.
The person who has the tape really doesn't want to shop it around. They really want to help and give it to wanted to directly sell it.
Oh, so that was COINTELPRO too?
It seems as if they are going elsewhere.
You know, we know that you've seen the footage. You talked about that last week when you were with us. So, you know, as you know who it is, and I know that you can't tell us who it is for all the reasons, right? But as you know who it is, and as we're moving through this story, and it's starting to really feel like it's unraveling, what are you hearing tonight?
Now this is the second time she got these tapes. Last time she got a tape involving like, why is everybody saying, what the fuck, she the tape lady? Last time she got a tape that posed to show Diddy and some A-list celebrity having sex with a girl. Now she getting taped saying on video having sex with a male celebrity. Like, what's really going on? Why is she getting all the tapes?
You feel bad for the person and we don't even know who it is. Is there anything more you can tell us about that part of it?
I really do feel bad about the person. Part of the reason that I did come and say something outside of just to protect my own safety, but I wanted to sound the alarm, essentially, bring the dog whistle, if you will, to that person that maybe they should do something about this before it came out. If I was them, I would do something about this, and the only way to do anything is to do the catch and kill. That's the only way to ensure that it doesn't come out. You know, we're taught that God helps those.
No, we're not,
Mayhem. So if we have a situation where that person does have the opportunity to purchase the video, if I were them, I would absolutely purchase the video.
She stole the tapes.
Well, do you think this is going to surface publicly? I mean, are we getting close to that moment?
From what I'm hearing, I think so.
And the person, and we don't.
I'm hearing whispers that there is at least one major network, possibly two, in a bidding war for that footage. So I believe we're.
Yeah, I bet the tapes never come out.
Maybe finding out unless that person comes and purchases the video themselves, which is really the goal of the people who have the video.
Did y'all hear that? She just said the tape's coming out unless
even know who it is.
So more than likely, if there is a tape, the person who's in that tape is going to buy it.
If that person doesn't want to purchase it, then it's going to go on the open market.
Wow. You know, we've been hearing that this has been going on in Hollywood for a really long time. This is just the latest, but this is such a big deal, obviously, for all the people that are involved. You know, even if the sex was consensual, the footage was illegal, being obtained without the subject's knowledge. So how is this possible? How does the sale and the release of this work legally?
So I think that's the issue here. After reading a Post article, it seems that if I'm hearing whispers that there are at least the filming was not, the person was not aware that they were being filmed. So with that being said, that comes into a second.
Probably reading off a script.
If this person was not aware.
Yesterday, y'all, we caught a guy reading off a script. The
first goal was not to take it to the open market, but then that's an issue for the purchaser who ends up purchasing the video. That's their legal problem to then overcome, not necessarily the seller's problem. The filming was not the person was not aware that they were being filmed. So with that being said, that comes into a secondary issue of if this person was not aware, which is again why the first goal was not to take it to the open market. But then that's an issue for the purchaser who ends up purchasing the video.
Hit that like button, subscribe channel if you're new.
To then overcome, not necessarily the seller's problem. The filming was not. The person was not aware that they were being.
Check out that video I did on Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright is a fraud. I stand on it. So let's go back to Jaguar Wright, because that's what we was trying to make our way back to. Jaguar Wright is a disgruntled employee. That's what Jaguar Wright is. A disgruntled employee. Gets disturbing call from Ray J. And Ray J is a clown. I don't respect nothing about him. Brad said he won't interview Jaguar Wright. Did y'all see this? Jaguar Wright goes off on.
First will make taxes fair for you.
Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Sean Combs have one person in common.
Jaguar Wright is known to be a conspiracy theorist.
I would never take a picture with the
Exactly.
devil. Everyone knew he was the devil.
Everyone wanted to go to Diddy's white parties when they were happening. If I got an invite, I would go. But there's a party within a party.
Thanks, Sean.
Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to.
Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters.
He's saying a lot of things that could be considered libelous.
I think if Diddy cooperates and gives up some big names of actual crimes they committed, that'd be a way of actually lessening the amount of time that he does, or possibly even walking away.
I absolutely do not see him being victorious in a criminal trial.
This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching for decades.
Look, she acting, y'all.
Stop.
Y'all can't tell she acting.
Diddy's downfall has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and beyond. The blast radius from the uncovering of his alleged offences could get. I'm going to start with you. You've been called a whistleblower. You knew Sean Diddy Combs for a long time. You attended a number of his infamous parties. And in 2022, you made headlines after comments where you called him a sex trafficker. And in response, you were called crazy.
Man, hell yeah. You can't tell she acting like a motherfucker.
Yes.
By the events of
Yeah, you gotta be aware of these YouTube actors, y'all. Like, yo, I can't get on here and act. I never went to acting school. You know, any emotion I show is real, is raw. When I do my videos, I'm not writing nothing down. Everything is how I feel right there at the moment as we speak. But some of these people, y'all, are fucking actors. Just pay attention to them. Pay attention to their movements.
No, not at all. Because he's just the beginning. Until
She ain't never been no movies, Black
him
Gail.
and his cohorts are all held to account publicly and legally. The victims, they're not safe.
How bad was
That's what I care about. I care about the victims.
No, I understand. How bad was
I'm going to tell you right now.
Can't trust clout
that
chasers
me,
either.
as a woman who has been in the industry for over 30 years, I've been performing live since I was 13. My first handler was McKinley Horton.
If y'all want to support the platform, Cash App Baltimore Swag is at the bottom.
That a scar that was on his face, a very elaborate story he gave me, was put there by a woman who he assaulted.
I don't know, she an actor.
And hear your elders in the business, people like Patti LaBelle say, just avoid him, honey.
Yeah, that is crazy, man.
And being taught to be just avoid him, honey. It's not good enough. Not when you live through these things, you're still suffering the PTSD created by all of this, and you're talking to a victim that's 20 years younger than you, and she's telling you the exact same thing that happened to you. You want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just...
Look at her, y'all. Yeah, she said, you want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years. I be like, yo, this girl was fucking acting, man. Like, yo, yo, where did they find these people, man? Like, yo, I be tripping out these people, man. I swear I do, y'all. I be tripping out these people. Y'all, I'm rewind. Check out one more time. Hold up.
For 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Hey,
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since
Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters.
Why do you think that is?
Because that's
goodness.
what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond.
Yo, come on, yo. This interview is comical. Like, how did people take this interview serious? Yo, pay attention to, you gotta pay attention to her face, her eyes, yo, her movements. Yo, she is really putting on the show. She deserves a Grammy. Is that a Grammy or an Emmy? Yo, what do you get when you put as an actress when you do a great job? Is it a Grammy or Emmy? Somebody get this woman a fucking Emmy, man. I can't check it yet. More than likely it did, though. I appreciate it. More than likely it did. I appreciate it, though, Mojo.
Voice. Harvey Weinstein.
I ask her. Okay, I ask her.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Look at her.
Robert Kelly.
Shaking her head.
Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously a lot of
cruelty-free artistry.
Right, there's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music, and that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have.
Check out the dramatics. She doesn't really know him. Somebody put this girl in a goddamn movie.
Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange.
Ooh. I don't know that.
He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to rape it for all of its precious jewels. We have too many lost.
She said, hey, yo, get the fuck out of here, yo.
It's ridiculous. And everyone knows.
She did it, man. Clap it up. Fuck that. Yo, you gotta clap it up for Jaguar Wright, y'all. She did a fucking great job. If Hollywood don't put this girl in a fucking movie, it's a goddamn crime. For real. It is a crime. After this performance, she deserves an Oscar. She deserves what best upcoming artist. Whatever you can give her for this performance, she deserves it. I'm talking about, I think she probably practiced this shit. I'm willing to believe or bet that she practiced this in the mirror, you know, probably gave her 20 minutes before airtime, and she got herself together. She was looking in the mirror, waving her finger, moving her head. Like, oh, she's a fucking character, y'all. These people are characters.
Elected for this job. He's the Judas.
Do you think that if he's cornered in the way that he's been now, that he may start revealing things about other people?
He has no choice. His ego and his drug addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not going to talk is crazy.
I don't think Diddy gonna talk.
The simple fact that he's not saying more now.
They don't want nobody else, y'all.
That the people who have been protecting him all along, who
No, it's not all lies.
position to be such a horror to the black community.
You ain't lying, Danny.
Still find value in him. He's got everybody.
She's not right, y'all. Yo, she's not right about this Diddy situation, y'all. Yo, Diddy is not arrested for the things that Diddy done in his past. Yo, Diddy is arrested because Diddy crossed the line with some people that he shouldn't have played with. So she's not right. There's no way she could have predicted that Diddy was going to file this lawsuit on this major company and his company was going to crush him. There's no way she could have predicted that. If Diddy didn't ever do that, Diddy wouldn't be in jail. None of these things would have came out. So she's not right. She's not right at all. Like, at all. Nobody is next, y'all. Stop letting them people tell you that. Go back to the beginning of the video if you think somebody is next. They're not releasing any information.
They all know it. So nice.
For those who remember these freak-off parties, what were they like?
See, this is the thing. Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my first-hand knowledge. It is my first-hand witness account experience.
Hell yeah.
I was a sex worker. I was a dominatrix before I got my record deal.
Oh, what does that say? What does that say, y'all? She played the game. She just said that she was a sex worker. She was a dominatrix. But before she got her record deal, how do you make that? How do you transition over from a sex worker to getting a record deal? Can anybody explain that to me? How do you transition over from being a sex worker to getting a record deal? She played the game. She played the game. She the type that's gonna play dominoes, and when she lose, flip the whole table over. Fuck this shit. I should never played anyway. No, you shouldn't have played the game in the beginning. You played the game, you lost. You can't get mad at everybody else. Yeah, she was complicit, Boots. You can't get mad because you played and lost. Fuck, you go from a come on now. Come on, y'all. We gotta stop getting we gotta stop getting talked to sleep, y'all, and really pay attention to what these people be saying.
I know how the dark world and the sex world and the entertainment world run hand in hand. That's why the movie Blink Twice is so important.
Look, she got props.
Zoe Kravitz.
She got props.
The sex workers that I have worked with throughout the years and continue to work with even to this day have worn.
No, it don't mean she lying, Melissa. It's not about her lying. It's about her reasoning. Is she's doing it? Is she doing this because she honestly feels like, or she honestly doesn't like how the music industry moves, or is she doing this seeking revenge? That matters. Intention matters, y'all. Intention matters. If people's going to hail her of some type of exposure or words they use, whistleblower, intention matters. Did you blow the whistle like Edward Snowden because America was spying on was spying on its citizens? Or did you blow the whistle because you got fired? What you blow the whistle for? Did you blow the whistle, Jaguar Wright, because you legitimately didn't like seeing girls get played on? Or did you blow the whistle because you was played on, you was offered certain deals or opportunities that never came in fruition? That matters.
I've seen what they do. The ritualistic behaviors, the drugging, putting girls in a
Man, she's in Uganda.
this game, you're not ready for it.
It's all about. It is revenge. It is revenge. She don't give a fuck about victims. She just told the one dude that she know that his brother did something with a 15-year-old girl, and she ain't even exposed it.
Dumping him in alleyways.
The internet was around way before 2019, 2020.
And it's all done under the protection of.
She's an
This is
enabler.
gonna be paid off. There's another Indian.
That's what she is, an enabler.
It's terrible.
Just like the rest of them.
It seems to have been something that a lot of people knew about, but people were simply too scared to talk about.
Everyone knows. And every person that's sitting there trying to act surprised knows very well. The whole point
Not taking
of
up
this,
no
like
devil.
Cat Williams said when he sat with Shay Shay earlier this year, the whole point of this is for them in a coordinated effort to pretend like none of it is real for the public's perception. But everyone knows what's going on.
This
It's
pays
been
more.
going on for years. It's been going on before Diddy. See, people keep looking at him like he's
Jessica,
Sputnik.
the ignorance is thinking Jay-Z is next. The ignorance is think this is the taking down of the music industry. That's the ignorance. Anybody selling that to y'all is a fucking bold-faced lie. We ain't saying nobody get took down in none of these. Weinstein, Epstein, nobody get, like, this is how they operate. This is how they move. They're going to operate before Diddy. They're going to operate like this after Diddy. Only time these people get exposed is when they do something that's outside of the common interest of one of these major corporations. That's when they get exposed. That's when they go to jail. They don't give a fuck about no victims. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand when it comes down to this Diddy situation. That's how I'm able to take the stance that I'm taking, because it's not about victims. If Diddy truly had victims and these people truly cared about victims, Diddy would have been in jail 20 years ago. Diddy ain't bigger than the federal government. He ain't never been bigger. I don't give a fuck how much money he got. He ain't bigger than them. He's not bigger than them. They could have came and got him whenever they wanted to. They didn't come and get Diddy until Diddy crossed the line, business-wise. And when you're dealing, that's what I'm saying, business is dirty. And when you're dealing in business on this magnitude, you got to make sure your backyard is clean. No skeletons in the closet. Got to make sure your backyard is clean. That's where Diddy fucked up at. His backyard was dirty, trash everywhere. And he tried to go up against this giant, and they crushed him. Now what they're doing is they're using people and using these law firms, and they're tricking people with wordplay. And now people is confused between the freak offs and the parties, and not knowing that it's two different things. People think it's all these victims, not knowing Diddy's only indicted for one victim, Cassie. And Cassie got paid. Cassie got what she wanted. Cassie wanted money. She got what she wanted. Now it's turned into a criminal indictment. That's what y'all not. That's what people not getting it. People is taking their personal feelings toward Diddy, or using their personal life experiences about assaults and how they feel about it, and they adding that to this situation, and it's totally different. It's totally different. This is the music industry. This is how these people move. Whether it's right or wrong, I would say it's wrong. But this is how they move. And people going into this industry are well aware of that. They've been moving like this for 40 years. Diddy ain't the first one. This was learned behavior. It's like hazing. Don't you know how fraternities and sororities and football teams and basketball, they haze people coming into the door? That's what this is. Is it wrong? Fuck yeah. But that's how they operate. It's hazing. So if you don't want to be hazed, man, keep that shit over there. But you can't go into the door wanting to be hazed, and then when they haze you and shit don't go your way, come back years later saying you was a victim. No, man, that's not how that works, because that take credence away from the real victims of assault. From the real victims. There's real victims out here, man. It's people that been done wrong. And it takes credence away from them people.
That came out of nowhere. This is someone who was designed to be what he is. We got to stop making ditties. And if we're going to do that, then we got to go back. We got to go back to even further the mentors of these people. Because Diddy was taught how to do what he does systematically. And Clyde Davis has been his greatest teacher.
Look, Clive Davis is not here to respond
Jermaine,
to
it
that,
is
nor is
hazing.
Jay-Z. But a lot of people...
The fuck you talking
famous
about? It
people in
is
this
hazing.
industry have been notable, like I say, by their silence so far. It's also been notable that since the Me Too campaign began in 2017, the music industry has largely avoided the same scrutiny
Say
that
my
other
job,
industries
Felix.
have had. Why do you think that is?
My bad. I'm sorry that you. I don't know what you do in your spare time.
I didn't hear that.
But this is how I work.
Since Me Too began in 2017, the music industry has largely avoided the same kind of scrutiny that other industries have had. Why do you think that is?
Well, because the Me Too movement was a ruse. It was a setup. It was a scam. I'm saying that now.
I do agree with some of the things
Dream
you said.
Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by
Sapphire? I called it hazing because you know when you join a fraternity or a sorority, you're gonna be hazed. Rookie basketball players and rookie football players get hazed. Hazing can get wild. You know, people have died being hazed. People have died. Certain college campuses banned hazing for that purpose. So when you go into this music industry, you know there's going to be people playing on your dreams. You know that. They do it. I just saying, my man be telling me about how Waka Flocka mother, Miss Day, set up a whole event in Atlanta. They was signing the artists. You had to pay everybody do this. You got to pay to participate. You pay the money. They don't sign nobody that participated. Played on your dreams. Made you think that since she's this figure, you know, she's known in the music industry. She got relationships with certain people. Damn, if I can get cool with her, I can get on. But in reality, that's never the case. In reality, it's just a money grab. That's what they do in the music industry. They prey on your dreams. So meeting Diddy as a artist, yeah, that was a real thing. OG, my man, I think one of his people went up there. As an artist, you know it's gonna be people willing to play on you. That's anybody. Diddy, Jay-Z, Jermaine Dupri, Dr. Dre. It's up to you if you're gonna allow it or not. You don't have to allow it. I don't want to participate. But you can't play the game and then call a victim. That's exactly what happens. The survivor. You can't play the game, then play victim after that. You knew what you was getting yourself into. What Jay-Z say, man, you knew what it was before you got here. You knew what it was before you got here. Porter's what it do. They ain't have to play. They chose to play.
By Sean Carter, they were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there.
Yeah, and that's what it's about.
Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly. This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there. If the Me Too movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the Diddler's downfall.
Jaguar,
guess they're on vacation.
If this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think the world is going to be shocked by?
I mean, she did, but that was a great point she brought up, though.
Oh, absolutely.
That was a great point.
I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades.
No, this Piers Morgan.
Decades.
How many victims?
What's the difference between me and Judy Garland? Social media.
How many victims?
There was none.
Yeah, exactly. He sure did.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well.
That she putting the show all together, y'all.
Nasty little couple.
Look at there she go.
Nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim Ford?
Keeping people against their will.
Hey, yeah.
Putting people on planes while they're unconscious. Just like Aaliyah got on that plane.
Yo, she is crazy, man.
Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about. Pierce.
Listen, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know. I'm just being honest.
Hey, she did. She was a part of the problem, yo. That's why the name of my video is Jaguar Wright was part of the problem. Yo, as long as you got people greedy enough that's willing to do anything for profit, you're going to have people that's going to put them in situations where they got to do it. Like, yo, you can't have the yin without the yang. As long as you got people that's greedy enough to do anything for profit, you're going to have people that's willing to use that against them. So who's more wrong? Who is more wrong in that situation? The person that's willing to do anything, because greed is a sin. We know that, right? You know, it's documented. Who is more wrong? The person that's willing to do anything for profit, or the person that's using it against them? I mean, that's just a question for people, man. Exactly. They all enablers. Exactly. That's how I look at it. Because she ain't got no money, sure for what? You're going to lose more money. You're going to lose more money than you're going to gain.
The new book claims that Diddy may have been involved in her early death. What do you think of that?
I think people should really look into that more.
I probably didn't see your comment.
I am friends with Albie Shore. I love him. I love his children. I knew Kim. We used to all hang out together at the Kit Kat Club back in the mid-90s when Diddy was first starting his reign. I watched that whole thing happen. And everything that Albert has been through, every attempt on his life that has been ignored by the authorities, it all leads back to Diddy. And everyone knows it.
I think some of the things she's saying is true, and she's making some things up.
Phones, putting AirTag on children during visits. These are normal practices that these people do.
Jaguar, I've got to leave it there. I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for caring.
You said, so what if she making it up? What the fuck, yo? She talking about... What you mean? Yo, you talking about people's lives? Like, what the fuck? You can't be putting wild allegations like that on fucking people. What you mean? So what if she making it up? The fuck? That shit ain't cool. It's see if you're gonna tell the whole truth or don't tell her at all. Like, I'm not with half truths, or let's see if I'm gonna believe everything you say, or I ain't believing nothing. Like, I ain't got time to be deciphering what's true, what's fake. it gets to a point when I'm just going to discredit the whole thing. Look, I ain't got time to be. I'm taking too much time, wasting too much energy trying to figure out what the truth is. It's either I can believe you or I fucking can't. That's how I operate. Like, yo, yeah, she probably did say some things that's true. And she probably putting a little bit of sauce on things too. But ultimately, it's rooted in envy. It's rooted in jealousy. She's not doing it because morally it's the right thing to do. Because if that was the case, she'd have did it in 98. She waited till her career was over. She wasn't talking when she was a background singer for Jay-Z. She wasn't talking then. She waited till her career was over. Then she decided, you know what? I'm ready to bring the house down. Diddy lied to me. He told me, Jay-Z told me I was going to be the next Mariah Carey. Yeah, but she lying, y'all. Nobody else is going to jail, y'all. Jay-Z ain't getting investigated. Like, it's all pillow talk.
Well, I'm joined now by the host of Vlad TV, DJ Vlad. DJ Vlad, I mean, pretty horrifying listening to these testimonies. What did you make of what you just heard?
Love and money is a sin.
Well, Jaguar Wright is known to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't really co-sign anything that she says. I've never had her on my show, and I don't have any plans to have her on my show.
You don't believe her?
She got an album in 20 years, and a lot of this stuff is just stuff she's heard, things she's making up, and so forth. I'm not saying that there aren't serious things that Diddy may have done, but yeah, I can't co-sign anything that Jaguar Wright said.
Exactly, Nay. Hey, Nay. Hey, Nay. If they was to tell Jaguar, like, look, man, we got you, man. We gonna put some money behind your career. We're gonna blow you up, and we gonna make do on all the promises we made. We wouldn't hear a fucking peep from Jaguar Wright. You heard me? Yo, if they told her that, we wouldn't hear a fucking peep from Jaguar Wright. The whole internet be like, damn, where the fuck Jaguar go at? She on tour. She on tour in Europe, some motherfucker where. I'm trying to tell you, man. Y'all better pay attention, y'all. These motherfuckers is crazy. She be gone in 60 seconds.
Last spoke. There have now been these charges against Diddy, which are incredibly serious.
Y'all know why he brought Vlad up here.
We last spoke that he was likely to face.
Let's skip Vlad.
Situation. She was fired, and she was fired, and she had to go to Philly for I think 5 years or something like that.
Look, hold up, she got fired.
She had photos of Diddy in a gay type environment of some sort, and I had someone actually explain to me what that photo was after the fact. And Diddy came in and
right for 20 plus years. That man, hey Mojo, that man, she was hoping, she was wishing on a star that somehow it got revived. It don't take you 20 years to speak out, man.
You had to go to Philly for I think 5 years or something like that. So there was that. I'm not sure how true it is because it was just a photo, and a photo, you know, could mean a lot of different things. I mean, the fact that he's a cuckold, that he likes to masturbate while watching.
I'm gonna try. Come on, OG, you've been over here too long, yo.
Have sex with other men.
You know me better than that.
I don't know. Is that gay? Is that
you know me better than that, OG.
Just being
I say what I mean.
It's hard to say. It's not something that I'm actually into. But I'm sure it blurs the lines between homosexuality and bisexuality somewhat. But I don't think he's exclusively gay because he has a lot of children.
I don't know what
really
happened.
It ultimately doesn't really matter.
Everybody's talking about speculation, man.
My interviews. I think if he came forward and said, "Hey, I'm a bisexual man," I think a lot of the jokes, like the no Diddy jokes and so forth, will kind of
most of these people, y'all,
people might actually be a.
Yo, know who I can give respect to? Chia Ali. Chia Ali been saying shit years ago. Let me see. Chia Ali. I think that's his name. Music industry. I could give respect to the people that been talking it years ago. I think that was Chiali or Chino XL. What the fuck the dude name was? This is it.
Like I promised, special guest in the house, the fabulous Chiali.
It was like, I was like, yo.
Emotional tour. Also, you know, with the flavor you introduced.
That's not it. The fuck that boy name is, man? He been exposed in the industry years ago. He's talking about how he went to one of them parties and got the fuck out of there immediately. Like, man, I can't fuck with this. I thought it was Chiali. I don't remember who the fuck it was. Let me go back to what we were just watching. It's at the bottom of the screen,
Be a
Tank.
little understanding of his situation
Baltimore
more,
swag.
as opposed to him denying it. But ultimately,
Baltimore dollar sign.
no
I mean, Baltimore swag.
I mean, we've talked. People have talked a lot in the last few years. It's unusual that so few people in the music business have been held to account under the Me Too campaign umbrella.
Yo, I'm not saying that the industry don't do wild things. What I'm saying is these people participate. They're not forced to do anything. That's what I'm saying. They're not forced to do anything. You're participating willingly. And just like I said in the beginning, yo, as long as you got people greedy enough to sacrifice their morals and principles, yo, you're gonna have people that's willing to, you know, to play with you. Like that's what it is. And that's to say, who's more wrong in that situation? The greedy person or the person that's using it against them? That's all I'm saying. You can't then turn around and say you was a victim. Like, can't nobody make me drink something I don't want to drink. Like, you can't come with this cup. You can't come with this cup and be like, yo, you drank this cup, I give you $1,000. And then I decide to drink the cup. And now I'm fucking stressed out some motherfucking way and shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, I can't, like, that don't even make sense. Yo, what's in the cup? Don't worry about it. You gonna drink it or not? Yo, what's in the cup, man? Is you gonna drink the cup or not? Here go the $1,000. Pull the money out. Here go the $1,000 right here. You gonna drink the cup or not? Man, I'm not drinking that shit, man. Fuck out of here. Keep that $1,000. I can't drink the cup and then wake up 2 days later talking about, man, he drugged me. He fucking drugged me. I mean, he told me I can drink the cup. He's gonna give me $1,000, and then I drunk the cup. Man, like y'all are crazy, man. What about the mule?
In the way that other industries were held to account. Could this be, following R. Kelly and others, could this be a tipping point where there might be a lot of other rap stars in particular, perhaps with very checkered backgrounds, lots of rumors about them, could all start falling like dominoes?
It's hard to say. Like I said in the beginning,
yeah, that's what they said.
I think if there is a
that's what
lot
Diddy,
of media
that's
attention,
what that's what I just gave y'all an example that the lawyer gave. The lawyer that's filing all these lawsuits, that was the example. People was asked to drink this liquor. If they didn't want to drink it, they had to leave, and they drunk it. I'm not making the. Well, I could be. He made it up. I'm just repeating what he said.
Somebody, there's a documentary about them. There's movies about them and so forth. I think that ends up getting on law enforcement's radar, and then you will see things kind of escalate very quickly. You know, it's hard to say. R. Kelly was extremely high profile, and there will be others, but I don't think that the music industry is really having less situations than other industries. I mean,
OG, what did I gotta do now?
Have you ever dreamed
You gotta
about
cope with
living in
liquid
glorious
cocaine?
harmony with nature and like-minded
Okay.
individuals, going off-grid and being
That's how they like to party.
Industry has certain situations and they're high profile.
That's how they like to party, y'all. Y'all showed y'all the girl that was at the Diddy parties, man. Do I gotta go back to what the girl that was at the Diddy party said? They like to party. I don't like to party that much. I don't like to party that much. Yo, y'all gonna be highly upset, yo, when y'all realize that nobody else is going to jail. Nobody else is gonna be implicated. And then y'all was lied to by these motherfuckers, bloggers and these news channels playing on y'all for views and likes. Y'all gonna be pissed off. I just want everybody that disagreed to come back and be like, dang, keep it G, you the only one told the truth. You said from the beginning what nobody else gonna be implicated. That's all I ask for everybody. It's at least 1,000 of y'all. That's all I ask for when the trial was over. Cause Diddy lawyer said he's taking them to trial. Come back and be like, damn, yo, you the only one said it. If anybody's implicated, it's gonna be somebody that it's not gonna be no high profile or anything. It ain't gonna be that. It's not gonna be anybody high profile. It's not gonna be no Jay-Z's, no Kanye West's, no Beyonce's. It's not gonna be none of that. So this is a girl that attended Diddy parties. Listen to what she said for people that didn't see her yet. Look, woman who attended Diddy parties speaks out, saying that the only reason this happened to him because he's black. If you're on the internet making fun of another black man, listen to what she said.
And there was something that I forgot to mention the other day when I was talking about the Diddy situation. Y'all already know how I feel. I feel like you bitches knew what the fuck y'all was getting yourselves into. Y'all had a ball. Y'all took pictures. Y'all posted. Y'all told your friends. Y'all felt like y'all was on top of the world.
Yep, that is only facts, Danny.
And then for whatever reason, now you bitches want some money.
So OG, if everything is sealed,
because he cut you.
Where's y'all gonna get this information from? if the United States government, Diddy lawyer, and a judge agreed to seal everything, where do y'all think y'all getting this information from?
Go off, whether it be because he's not hitting you up no more, whether it be because you feel like a goofy because you didn't get nothing out of it, whatever it be, it's lame as fuck what y'all are doing. But outside of that, you niggas, this is what I gotta say to you niggas. You niggas that are sitting around laughing, making jokes. Number one, Diddy is such a just kind person in general that he would have probably opened his home to you. Some of y'all have probably been at them freak offs, which really are parties, they're rich people parties, okay? Stop calling them freak off. Y'all, and there was something that I forgot to mention. They're rich people parties. If the feds and whatever else want to call them freak offs, that's on them. But at the end of the day, they're rich nigga parties. Rich white men do this shit all the time. Attorneys, doctors, real estate moguls, finance guys, brokers, all type of rich white men do this shit all the time. But because Diddy is black and of high status, of course,
that's all they
he's
doing.
Not allowed to do the same thing that rich white men do. He's not allowed to indulge in the same behavior, parties, lifestyle, etc. that rich white men do. It's fucking twisted. It's really fucking twisted, and it's sad. It's sad to watch someone who's a mogul for the black community, in the black community, who speaks very highly of the black community and tries to instill growth and excellence and black excellence and preaches it and preaches love, and he's getting shitted on. They're rich people parties. If the shitting on.
Yo, it's not that Jay-Z can't be touched, y'all. It's that they don't want to touch Jay-Z. Like that's what explained. They don't want Jay-Z. They don't want anybody else. They want Diddy. They want Diddy. Now, if they wanted Jay-Z, I'm sure there'd be some information coming out about Jay-Z. But they don't want them, y'all. So even if Jay-Z is on these tapes, I just showed the video of a lawyer talking about it's a tape floating around of Diddy with a male celebrity. But you know what they're trying to do, y'all? They're trying to sell a tape to the male celebrity. That's what they're trying to do. Nothing is going to come out about any of these guys, y'all. Not because it don't exist, but because they don't want it to. Like, that's what I'm trying to, that's the point I'm trying to make. Anybody selling y'all that is just a talking point for views. It's just a talking point. Who do you think is next? Is there other high profile people? It's just a talking point for views. Because anybody that been covering these type of cases, from Bill Cosby to Epstein and Weinstein, and you know that it ain't happening. Nobody else went to jail other than Ghislaine Maxwell. Epstein was dealing with all these people, and nobody else went to jail other than Ghislaine Maxwell. Not Prince Andrews, not Donald Trump, not anybody, but Ghislaine Maxwell. And this is going to be similar. This situation is going to be similar. Nobody else. Remember that. Nobody else is going to be getting in trouble. Yeah, nobody else is going to be getting in trouble. $100 When did he get $100 for freak offs? Like, yo, y'all is tripping, man. Yo, see, yo, what y'all doing is y'all tying the freak offs and the parties together, and they separate things, y'all. It's not the same thing. Diddy parties and Diddy freak offs are two different situations. Yeah, I can't be distracted. I can pay attention to more than one thing at once. I mean, at the same time. Oh, man, Mark said I love freak offs. It's a party within a party. Yeah, but everybody not privy to the party within the party. Oprah ain't going down, man. Y'all crazy. When people are living in sin, these things happen because when Brock comes back to you, no matter how it goes. Yeah, you know, it could be karma. See, I'm not tripping off the karma part. Like, it could be karma. Diddy done did some fucked up things. That's the thing y'all people not understanding. Diddy done did some fucked up things. I don't like the manipulation of the media. They putting out these lawsuits that nobody knows if they're ever gonna file them, because it taints the jury pool, and everybody deserves a fair trial. I don't like the lies being told. I don't like the fact that they putting out people's names in it when there's no other names coming out. I don't like. Well, I know what this is really over, and I know it's not about victims. It's about business. So that's why I take the stance I take. Like, I can explain to you why I take the stance I take. You know, it's not about the victims. If this was about victims, like, I would be like, oh, Diddy need to sit his ass down. You know what the fuck he did. But this ain't about that, man. They ain't care about victims. Neither do fucking Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright just a disgruntled employee whose music career didn't take off. That's it. That's it, and that's all. Yo, but I'm ready to go. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Check out the video I dropped on Jaguar Wright. We go live every day at 11 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure y'all tap in. every day, Monday through Sunday. It's another day of Keep It G News, and I'm out.